The story of the Titanic still has a hold on many of us, including our next guest. Ermer's great-grandfather, James Kelly, died on the Titanic, and for the past 100 years, his family has been trying to keep his memory alive. Welcome, Al. It's great to have you.
Jocelyn.
Jack Kelly was your great-grandfather, and I can assume from his last name, his name really, that he's from Ireland?
Yes, from Leixlip, which is in County Kildare in Ireland, about 15 miles from Dublin.
Okay, and so why was he coming to the United States?
He, over in Ireland, they were very poor. So what they decided to do is they sent their oldest daughter, Margaret, to New Haven to, in 1910 to get a job and send money back, save money, send it back to Ireland for him to come over. So, and then once he was going to come over in 1912, he was supposed to save money also and send the money back for the rest of the family to come back.
All right, so has your family been really getting all the information all these 100 years and trying to find out more about him?
Yes, absolutely. We always knew about him. Yeah, we grew up knowing that he died in the Titanic. And, you know, so it was always a special part of our history, of family history.
So did you have to go back to Ireland to try to figure out a little more about who he was?
I actually went back to Ireland in 2007. We did find out some information about when he was born, when they got married, him and his wife, Kate. So we were able to find that, but I basically went up to Halifax, Nova Scotia back in the early 1990s to investigate whether they had discovered his body or not discovered his body.
Why was there a question in your mind?
We never really knew specifically that they had found his body.
Even though you actually got some confirmation that his body was found.
I did when I went to Nova Scotia.
Oh, it was in Nova Scotia when you found that out.
Right.
Okay, so what happened was when the Titanic sank,
my great-grandfather, James, was a third-class passenger. So, you know, his daughter was notified that he died and was, well, not died, but did not find the body. Missing, right. So eventually she received notification from the White Star Lines that they did find some information about him.
And did they tell her that his body was found, or it was just that they found some of his effects?
That was the thing. We were never sure whether or not they actually just found his effects or found his body. So, and what they did with the body, if they did find it. So we never knew if he was, you know, brought into Halifax where they had buried many of the, well, not many of them, but a couple hundred of the Titanic people that had died. So that's why I decided to go up to Halifax to find out, and I found information up there that they had found his body, but they buried him at sea.
They did bury him at sea. Let's take a look at some of the documents that you were able to find. And what is this right here?
This is a ship's manifest from the Titanic that has James Kelly listed on it with that. So it, you know, confirmed that he was on the ship, and yeah, I think it was a big part of our discovery process.
He said he was a third-class passenger.
Third-class
what does
passenger.
That mean?
Basically, someone, usually in third class, they were coming over to immigrate to the U.S.
Okay. And our next piece of document there?
That's another part of the Titanic manifest. So where he's handwritten in there as James Kelly, and that he was coming over. He was 44 years old.
He was coming over to New Haven?
Right, to New Haven.
Was he going to live here?
Yes.
He was going to live here.
His brother actually had moved to the U.S. about 10 years before. So that's where Margaret, his daughter, was living with his brother in New Haven.
Very good. Okay, and I understand that we have another one right here.
Yes, that was the letter that the White Star Line sent to his daughter, Margaret, about that they found they have his effects, and they were sending the effects to her.
And what did they find? A
comb and a knife, and they also found rosary beads, but they buried them at sea with the rosary beads.
And what do we have here? This
is from the McKay Bennett, was sent out by the White Star Line after the sinking to discover bodies. So they made as they discovered bodies, they had a log sheet and they numbered the victims. So he was number 70 that was discovered.
So this is what you found in Nova Scotia?
Yes, that's what I found in Nova Scotia.
And our last?
And this was a New Haven Register story back in 1912 when they were still waiting to hear whether or not he had died on the Titanic. So it was about Margaret Kelly, his daughter.
So have you learned as much as you can about James Kelly?
No, we still want to learn more. Unfortunately, we don't have much information about when he lived in Ireland, exactly all the details back in Ireland. And we would love a picture of him, but unfortunately, we could never find a picture.
So you're continuing your search?
Yes, continuing the search.
Really quickly, how is your family going to be marking this 100th anniversary?
We're having a family reunion on Saturday, April 14th, which is the 100th anniversary of them hitting the hitting the iceberg.
Yes.
There's about 102 of us that are going to be getting together in West
102.
Haven. We're going to have a short memorial service as part of that.
Very good. Al, thank you so much for sharing your family story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.